A second common misconception, a common pitfall when we are pursuing happiness is that we mistake happiness as a destination. So we set a kind of like a bar, and then we say when I achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I will be happy. And so happiness is conditional upon certain milestones which we achieve. And until those milestones are achieved, then I can't be happy yet. And so we set this standard, and then we judge ourselves as worthy of enjoying happiness or not, based on whether we achieve that standard or not. Actually, there's nothing really wrong with doing something like this. But the only thing is that when we achieve that happiness because we achieve a certain standard, that's not true happiness. Why? Because it is dependent that the standard is still maintained. And so, okay, you have worked very hard. You said I must achieve bar number 1, bar number 2, bar number 3, bar number 4, and bar number 5. And so there's this checkbox. I need to achieve these goals. Check, 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 check. Yes, I've done it. I'm happy. And what is happening is now, for the rest of your life, you have to put in all the energy to make sure that these checkboxes don't become unchecked. Because if they do become unchecked, then you're going to fall into unhappiness. And so in that happiness of achieving this comes the stress. It still has to be maintained. Otherwise, I lose the happiness. So hopefully this point number 2 can help shed some light to some people. A lot of times we will experience this because the goals that we set for ourselves, the criteria that we set for ourselves is based upon the opposite characteristics of the weakness that we see in ourselves that we do not accept. So for example, it could be, let's just say as a child, this person was ridiculed, saying that you're an ugly, and so the child grew up with emotional bullying, feeling like an ugly duckling. And so now deep down inside there is a mental image of the self. I'm an ugly duckling. And as far as that individual is concerned, that is true for that individual. I'm an ugly duckling. One example will be Angelina Jolie. She herself admits, when I grew up, I thought I was very, very ugly. And of course, when you grow up with such a negative emotion, that's motivating towards something. It will motivate you towards the opposite. So if I'm not the ugly duckling, I'm this beautiful flower that everybody just looks at and just admire. So we set that as the checkbox, to achieve. And then we do whatever it is to go and achieve that. If it is achieved, check, right? And then I said we fear losing it. Why? Because if it becomes unchecked, that person falls back to become the ugly duckling. So there's this shadow that is always following that person wherever he goes. No matter what success he attains, that shadow is just one step behind this person. And so when you fail, to achieve that bar, then that shadow emerges, and then that biggest fear now has caught up.